Welcome students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today we are going to see about the topic tools and techniques to assess and control ergonomic hazards at workplace. Introduction. Ergonomics is the science of designing the workplace, keeping in mind the capabilities and limitations of the workers. Poor worksite design leads to fatigue, frustrated and hurting workers. This rarely leads to the most productive worker. More likely, it leads to a painful and costly injury, lower productivity and poor product quality. Ergonomics is the process of designing or arranging workplaces, products and systems so that they fit the people who use them. Objectives is to analyze the ergonomic hazards at workplace. Introduction. Ergonomics is the science of designing the workplace, keeping in mind the capabilities and limitations of the workers. Poor worksite design leads to fatigue, frustrated and hurting workers. This rarely leads to the most productive worker. More likely, it leads to a painful and costly injury, lower productivity and poor product quality. Ergonomics is the process of designing or arranging workplaces, products and systems so that they fit the people who use them. Most people have heard of ergonomics that think it is something to do with seating or with the design of car, control and instruments, and it is. But it is so much more. Ergonomics applied to the design of anything that involves people, workspaces, sports and leisure, health and safety. Ergonomics is a branch of science that aims to learn about human abilities and limitations and then apply this learning to improve people's interaction with the products, systems and environments. Ergonomics aims to improve workspaces and environments to minimize the risk of injury or harm. So as technologies change, so too does the need to ensure that the tools we access for work, rest and play are designed for our body requirements. Ergonomics is a relatively new branch of science which celebrates its 15th anniversary in 1999 but relies on research carried out in many other older established scientific areas such as engineering, physiology and psychology. To achieve best practice design, ergonomists use the data and techniques of several disciplines. They are anthropometry, is body sizes, shapes, population and variations. Biomechanics is muscles, levers, forces and strength. Environmental physics is noise, light, heat, cold, radiation, vibration, body systems, hearing, vision and sensations. Applied psychology is skill, learning, error and differences. Social psychology is groups, communication, learning and behavior. Next one is physical ergonomics. This is a picture how to sit and work in the work environment. Physical ergonomics is the science of designing user interaction with equipment and workplaces to fit the user. Physical ergonomics is concerned with human anatomy and some of the anthropometric, physiological and biomechanical characteristics as they relate to physical activity. Physical ergonomics principles have been widely used in the design of both consumer and industrial products. Physical ergonomics is important in the medical field, particularly to those diagnosed with the physiological ailments or disorders such as arthritis, both chronic and temporary, or carpal tunnel syndrome. Pressure that is insignificant or imperceptible to those unaffected by the disorders may be very painful or render a device unusable. For those who are Many ergonomically designed products are also used or recommended to prevent such disorders and to treat pressure related chronic pains. One of the most prevalent type of work related injuries is musculoskeletal disorder. Work related musculoskeletal disorder results in persistent pain, loss of functional capacity and work disability, but their initial diagnosis is difficult because they are mainly based on complaints of pain and other symptoms. The Occupation Safety and Health Administration has found substantial evidence that ergonomics programs can cut workers' compensation costs, increase productivity and decrease employees' turnover. Therefore, it is important to gather data to identify jobs or work conditions that are most problematic using sources such as injury and illness logs, medical records and job analysis. Next one is cognitive ergonomics. Cognitive ergonomics is concerned with mental processes such as perception, memory, reasoning and motor responses as they affect interaction among human and other elements of a system. Relevant topic includes mental workload, decision making, skilled performance, human reliability, work stress and trainings, as these may relate to human system and human computer interaction design. Next one is organizational ergonomics. Organizational ergonomics is concerned with the optimization of socio-technical systems, including their organizational structures, policies and processes. Relevant topics include communication, crew resource management, work design, work systems, design of working times, teamwork, participatory design, community ergonomics, cooperative work, new work programs, virtual organization, telework and quality management. An ergonomic hazard is a physical factor within the environment that harms the musculoskeletal system. Ergonomic hazards includes themes such as repetitive movement, manual handling, workplace job task design, uncomfortable workstation height and poor body positioning. Ergonomic injuries may be referred to as repetitive stress injuries, repetitive motion injuries, musculoskeletal disorders, cumulative trauma disorders, cumulative trauma injuries. OSHA and NEOSHA typically used as a term MSD or musculoskeletal disorders. Ergonomic hazards, it is occurs when the type of work, body positions and working conditions put strains on your body. They are the hardest to spot since you don't always immediately notice that the strain of your body or the harm that these hazards pose. Short-term exposure may result in sore muscles the next day or in the day following exposure. The long-term exposure can result in the serious long-term illnesses. Some of the ergonomic hazards include improperly adjusted workstation, chairs frequent lifting, poor posture, awakened movement, especially if they are repeated the same movements over having to use too much force, especially if you have to do frequently. The physical assessment is, with this foundation, the first step to an ergonomic assessment will be to understand the physical demands associated with each job in order to help to identify any potential risk or areas for improvement. The step can be completed by performing a facility tour and observation of each department. The physical demands required will likely differ across job roles and industries. For example, employees who primarily work in an office environment may require adjustments to their workstation, while employees who work in production may require specific training or additional equipments to avoid exertion and fatigue. Ergonomic standards for office environments require a monitor to be eye level to avoid an arching back or neck. Wrist must be able to lay comfortably when typing. Shoulders should be relaxed and parallel from a sitting or standing position. and feet should be flat on the floor. Providing adjustable desks and chairs will allow employees to customize the appropriate height and position for working while seated and standing. Employees who are required to complete physical labor may also benefit from adjustable control stations as well as carts or dollies to reduce the impact of lifting or carrying heavy materials. Exertion may be reduced by rotating physical duties and providing stretch breaks throughout the day. Employees should always be trained on proper form and range of motion in order to prevent exhaustion and injury. Understanding employees' injury history. Alongside a physical audit of the workplace's environment, it is important to review the history of the injuries throughout the populations. These steps can be completed by accessing information collected through claims data as well as surviving employees directly. These occurrences identified can help educate and prioritize procedures and establish resources. Understanding the benefits of an ergonomic assessment. Among the benefits of conducting an ergonomic assessment, employers can expect to see a reduction in cost associated with workplace injuries as well as an improvement in the productivity of daily operations. By providing the appropriate tools and techniques, employees will feel less taxed throughout the day, which can contribute to greater focus and quality of work. In addition, a regular assessment will help to establish a safe and positive culture throughout the company, crucial for maintaining employee satisfaction and retention overall. The tools used for the ergonomic assessment is the types of work. Lifting and lowering, Vishal lining calculator and Nishal lining equation tools is to be used. Next, upper body posture, rapid upper limb assessment ruler technique is to be used. Entire body posture, rapid entire body assessment REBA tools is to be used. Pushing and pulling carrying, Snook table tool is to be used. Vibration, hand arm vibration calculator is to be used. For lifting and lowering, developing by the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries and based off NISHOC research related to the primary cause of back injuries, this lifting calculators can be used to perform ergonomic risk assessments on a wide variety of manual lifting and lowering tasks and can also be used as a screening tool to identify lifting tasks which should be analyzed further using the more comprehensive NISHOC lifting equation. NISHOC lifting equation is a tool frequently used by occupational health and safety professionals for a more comprehensive assessment when compared to the WA state lifting calculator or manual material handling risk association with a lifting and lowering task in the workplace. The primary product of the NISHOC equation is a recommended weight limit which defines the maximum acceptable weight load that nearly all healthy employees could lift over the course of an 8-hour shift without increasing the risk of musculoskeletal disorders to the lower back. For pushing, pulling and carrying, Snook tables. The Snook tables outline designs goals for various lifting, lowering, pushing, pulling and carrying tasks based on research by Dr. Stover Snook and Dr. Vincent Crello at the Liberty Mutual Research Institution for Safety. The table provides weight force values for specific types of a task that are deemed to be acceptable to a defined percentage of the population. This is done by comparing data for each of the specific manual handling tasks against the appropriate table. For upper body posture, rapid upper limb assessment, the diagnostic tool assessment biomechanical and postural load requirement of job tasks demand on the neck, trunk and upper extremities. A single page form is used to evaluate required body posture, force and repetition. Based on the evaluation, scores are entered for each body region in section. For the arm and waist, the section B for the neck and the trunk. After the data for each region is collected and scored, tables on the form and then used to compile the risk factor variables, generating a single score that represents the level of the MSD risk. For entire body posture, rapid entire body assessment tool is to be used for a systematic process to evaluate whole body postural and ergonomic design risk association with job task. A single page form is used to evaluate regular body posture, forceful excretion, type of movement or action, repetition, coupling, a score of assignment for each of the following body regions: wrist, forearm, elbow, shoulder, neck, trunk, back, legs and knees. After the data for each region is collected and scored, tables on the forms are then used to compile the risk factor variables, generating a single score for represent the level of MSD risk. For vibration, hand-arm vibration calculator has not issued a direct related to HIV. The UK developed guidelines under the control of vibration at work regulation in 2005. The regulation established and introduced vibration exposure action and limit values. In these regulations, the action value was set at a vibration magnitude, the limit value to 5 meters per square. Both values meanings they are average vibration magnitude values over the course of the 8-hour workday. This regulation serves a good guide to evaluate HIV exposure and also offer suggestion with respect to reducing associated risk. Carpal tunnel syndrome is an ergonomic injury affecting the fingers, hand and wrist and is a nerve, tendon and muscle disorder that develop as a result of repetitive and sustained motions. Examples of workplace activities in which this occurs include typing, key data entry, switchboard operation, assembly line duties and gripping devices such as pillars, scissors, gardening tools, curling irons and commercial kitchen utensils. Next one is chair. Back support is essential for employees who spend a substantial amount for their workday sitting down. As attractive as an office chair might be, it can contribute to fatigue, lower back pain, abdominal cramps and deep vein thrombosis in the legs if it is the wrong size, shape, height, style of the designated task. Another ergonomic hazard is whether the chair sits on casters or is stationary. Whether casters, a chair could slide back just as a worker is sitting down. In a stationary chair, a worker could lean too far back and cause the chairs to tilt and fall. Then conclusion is, solving the ergonomic puzzle is difficult, but it can be done. Start by conducting effective and efficient ergonomic assessments and make sure you are using the right tool for the job. It is essential for identifying and remedy potential ergonomic repetition and poorly designed workstation. Heavy lifting posture can cause injury, so we should avoid heavy lifting without proper posture. And also, good lighting is very important while doing work like kitchen, office, restaurant, hotels, etc. And also the ergonomic challenges with natural light depending on the season, whether office windows are positioned to receive to morning or afternoon sun.